everyone, what is good? Welcome back to the channel. This is Silver Hyena, and what I've got going for today's video, well gosh, I hope it's obvious. Anyways, these are the alcohol-based markers that I had picked up at Ross. Now then, the reason why these had jumped to the front of the list is because it is very likely that I am actually gonna be moving very soon. At least at the time of this recording. It's complicated, and also in the background, just ignore my brother screaming at his stupid games. I will say that, just on a side note, buying a home, the process is ridiculous. I mean, like, the mental anguish, it would fit right into a Saw game, I'll put it that way. Anyways, mostly the reason why I wanted to do this one is because this case, like, look at this ridiculous packaging. Mostly this is just going to be a pain in the butt to pack, so I figured I'm just going to open it up, get rid of this plastic packaging, which really, I mean, like, this is such a waste as far as packaging goes, and I'm just gonna use these and get them in a smaller container. That's why this is jumping to the front of the line. True story. Anyways, let's get to the grand unboxing, shall we? Well, this is aesthetically appealing, isn't it? I hope you enjoyed. Okay, and here we are. Let's take a look at the marker. Apparently the name of brand is Self-Made Creative. I have never heard of them before, but then again, I'm wondering if you have either. So if you have, post in the comments below. Anyways, we're going to take a look. Pretty standard chisel and bullet. This kind of square design means that unless you're turbulently violent, it's not going to roll all over the place, which is good. And at a glance, the gray band there means your fine tip. No band means your broad tip, which is nice and convenient. But how do they draw? That is the question. So let's answer that now. And they seem to be quite, I mean, hey, it's nice and juicy. I like a nice juicy marker, and I certainly hope that you do too. And for only $7 for that whole pack, not bad at all if I do say so myself. So I'm gonna finish swatching out the rest of these, and then time to draw something. Like, I mean, you know my usual routine, at least I hope you do. Yeah, so I'm just gonna do that. Okay, so as you can see, the color selection isn't half bad at all. Mostly you've got brights, although you do have a couple of neutrals. I mean, like, I am glad that the set has a lot of blues. Yeah, y'all know how I feel about blue markers. I kind of have a weakness for them. Blending, it's not the best, not the worst. I mean, this is a small, cheap set, so what can you expect? Anyways, it's time to test these out in an illustration, so I'm just gonna get to that. And as you guessed, it's probably gonna be something with blue and pink and maybe purple. Yeah, big surprise, I know. Alrighty then, so I kind of forgot about the pink, but I did make great use of the greens, as I mentioned. Starting out, I used a dragon as my model, my usual go-to, but this time I wanted to make it a little bit different. I've been wanting to draw a dragon with multiple eyes. Well, by that I mean more than two. Please, I know I'm sounding silly, but please bear with me. This came out just as sinister and unsettling as I was hoping for. I really had my work cut out for me trying to tone down the bright colors, at least a little bit. Overall, while the packaging these markers came in could be described as excessive, or perhaps even extravagant, the markers themselves are just kind of there. What I mean by that is these markers didn't strike me as being that much better than, say, the Azure markers by Royal Langnickel. That's not to say they're bad by any means. Both these self-made creative markers and the Azure markers work just fine. But at the very least, Royal Langnickel Azure markers come in a reasonably sized box, unlike these. Blending is just barely okay-ish with the chisel tip at least. Really, there's just nothing very special about them. Unless, of course, I refer you back to the packaging. Although, I will admit, the price tag for 18 of these markers, which was around $7, wasn't a bad deal at all. And if you're just looking to get into alcohol-based markers, this may be a good entry point without emptying your bank account. These are fun to dabble and play around with. The only thing that would make them better is if there was a brush tip. Brush tips are the superior marker tips. This is a fact. However, sometimes we just have to make do with what we have. So there's my 2 cents. Seriously, people who manufacture these things, use a box or one of those sturdy plastic buckets. I did not care for the excessive and kind of sharp plastic packaging these came in. I love sensible and reusable packaging. Then again, maybe I'm just nuts in that regard. Like, I remember that doodle set that I got that's got like all the pens and highlighters and stuff. It came in packaging similar to this and just kind of drove me nuts. I've said it before and I'll say it again. Never be afraid to poke around your local discount stores. And with all that being said, I certainly hope you've enjoyed today's video. Please be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. This is Silver Hyena, signing off. Stay creative, everybody. Bye!